structural indicator, gender gaps in employment and poverty, reconciliation between work and family life, intra-household sharing of resources, education, migration, health, and information society. So all these topics are under supervision of or responsibility of my directorate, so Directorate of Social Statistics and Information Society. Just to let you know, we have 130 people in our directorate. Our annual financing is about 17 million euro. However, this, what I've mentioned, it's very small fragment of what we are doing. Okay, so now about statistical portrait. On this slide, you can see the gender pay gap in 2008. Commissioner today mentioned that the gap is on average for EU 2020 about 18%. So more correct figure is 17.8, but rounded it's indeed 18. For Eurozone, this pay gap is similar. As to different member states, you can see that there are very different situations, but you should be aware that this pay gap just provide very average figures based on gross hourly earnings, and they do not reflect the differences by profession, by different sectors, which can be in the same Italy, which generally have quite a small gender pay gap, but in some specialties it's huge. The next slide, it's employment rate for the age group between 20 and 64, and this brings me back to EU 2020 headline indicators. You can see that as far as the latest data are concerned, the men already actually reached this employment indicator 75%. As to women, it's better with regard to the previous Lisbon headline criteria at 60%, but as to EU 2020, the gap is still there. Another interesting thing is that in 2009, the figures slightly reflects the impact of prices, because employment rate for men decreased as compared with 2008, and for women it's about the same. Why? Because the first sectors of economy hit by crisis were construction, manufacturing, mostly dominated by men. But I wouldn't like to promise that this trend will continue. Most likely no, because the other sector also were hit by crisis at the later stage. Now, early school leavers, and then I have to refer to the first presentation today, which I think you, Christian, you referred to this slide, right? And this is another EU 2020 target on early school leavers, which should reach 10% by 2020. For the time being, for women, it looks much better than for men, 2% difference, so women are closer to this target. However, as we heard today, and as we also indicated in a number of our publications, the destiny of women in higher education, but especially after higher education research in the academic work, is unfortunately not that brilliant as for men. And one more slide is for, at risk of poverty. At risk of poverty is also one of EU 2020 headline indicators, which should be seen in combination with two others, material deprivation and also households with low work intensity. Eurostat provides data for all three, and also with this men and women distribution. Today I wanted to demonstrate you at risk of poverty. I must say that the number of Europeans which are poor is quite big. It's 120 million people, and as you can see from even these slides, the number of women is about half of it. So it's about 60 million women which lives under below the poverty rate. This is the last slide, breakdown of migrants by gender. So because I really exceeded my own limit 10 minutes after the official break, I will switch to my last slide, future developments of gender statistics. And as you can see, we put as a first our task to ensure good coordination with EGE. So maybe we can consider also sort of memorandum or whatever of understanding, letter of intent, or because, you know, it's for me a little bit peculiar to listen that EGE, as a new agency, is in charge of data collection. It is a little bit too naive to think that a couple of statisticians can make this huge work on data collection. But what is important to indeed find synergies, complementarities, and if you can build your advice based on our evidences, I think your mission would have been at least partly fulfilled. Now we would like also to continue collaboration with international organizations, including UN, ESC. But today, actually, I'm sure that our coordination should be extended not only with EGE, but also with 3 other agencies, at least around this table. We have intensified the cooperation with the Eurofound. This is what I'm sure about. As to 2 others, I think we should strengthen our links either. Now, improve dissemination of statistics. We have now a dedicated section on gender equality indicators, which soon will be available on Eurostat website, so we are working on it. Actions to implement the new strategy 2010-15 should also not be forgotten. So thank you very much for your attention. Welcome to Eurostat if you will be in Luxembourg.
Thank you very much, Ina Steinbuka.